There's Ben sat outside waiting for his breakfast. Ben's brother Tom has been down to the fruit shop in Yarm. He's picked up some cherry tomatoes, which are grown in Hutton Rugby. Eggs, tomato, David Riggs sausage, milk. What? Eggs, sausage and tomato. Okay Ben, breakfast time. I was just saying how eating local is not too much of a problem. Missing bread, definitely. Missing tea and coffee, definitely. Things like tomato ketchup, I'm not actually missing that much. What I am finding hard is being surrounded by the food. Like, there's a pineapple there. Moving out. And stuff like tomatoes and not you know, being surrounded by the kind of food that I used to like eating and can't. That's what's doing it. That's what's giving me temptation and also causing me any sort of hassle. The actual local food is lovely, absolutely lovely. If things like pineapples weren't there, I don't think I'd miss them. When you started beekeeping, I mean, how long ago was that kind of?
When I was at school.
Right. Have you just gradually built up like an affinity connection to them?
No. When I was a teenager, I get an allergic reaction to a bee sting.
Right.
And I left it alone from when I was 19, 20. I came here in the year 2000, doing something else, and they've always been bees on the farm.
When do they get aggro? Like, when do they know sort of that you? When do they?
Today's a bad day for aggravation.
Right. Okay.
Because they think it's going to rain. We can see that most of them are coming in. There's not many going out. Usually, if it's a good day, there's as many going out as coming in. But there's a big dark cloud behind you.
It's like a collective intelligence, isn't it, kind of thing? It's like...
Well, I've been here for 146 million years, so they've worked it all out. All we do is we give them somewhere to live that's dry, and they do the rest. They're quite happy just to get on with it.
Yeah. That's good.
So you end up, you have a floor, you have a brood box, and then you put your supers on where you collect the honey from.
What's a super, sorry?
A super is a small box where they will collect honey. I'll show you when we go into the honey extraction room. We're a bit mean, we don't put a full frame in, we put something in like that. And then they have to dry it out. So we start it off, then they dry it out, so they can pack it with honey.
So is that beeswax made out of?
That's their beeswax.
That's their beeswax, yeah.
Their beeswax, yes. That's a partially filled comb. If I just explain what you've got there is you've got it capped. That's where they've capped it.
Right.
You've got honey in there that they haven't filled up.
Yes.
And the dark one is the pollen. They put pollen in there.
Right. Okay.
And that's a little queen cell they've been messing about with.
It's interesting when you were talking about how they do kick the old, well, not kick the old queen out, but she realises her time's up and leaves.
It's an inbuilt gene in that the only way they can expand a colony is for them to leave with the old queen.
Right.
She's better to leave than the new queen, because the old queen knows exactly what's going on, so she can build a colony up quite quick.
Right. Okay.
She comes on laying. As soon as they can get somewhere to live in a hole, they'll draw wax out quickly, she'll start laying eggs. Whereas a new queen can take up to 3 weeks to be mated properly.
Right, okay.
Now they can't live for 3 weeks, can they? See?
No, yeah, so yeah, the heat's on. I've heard it's to pacify the bees a bit so they're less angry, but I don't know if
that's correct, yeah. Yes, but what it is, the only thing the bees can't deal with in the wild is fire. If there's a lightning strike and they're living in a tree and the forest catches fire, they smell smoke. If they smell smoke, they go immediately to the stores. So all the bees go into the hive, eat as much as they can, because they might have to leave the hive. So if the fire comes, the queen leaves and they all leave. So they've all got enough 3 or 4 days honey on board.
Yeah.
Now then, we as beekeepers exploit that. So what we do is we have a smoker, we puff it up, give them a puff at the entrance, they all immediately go inside and start eating. And as we go through the hive, they're starting to eat. The other thing is, if a bee is full of honey, if both stomachs are full of honey, it has 2 stomachs, one where it fetches the nectar back, and the other stomach is it uses for its own digestion.
Alright.
It gets so fat it can't bend and sting you. When you've got a swarm of bees and they're in a cluster, usually they're calm and placid. They're full of, it's just like you're full up.
Yep. After a Sunday roast.
That's right, you want to sit down.
Brilliant.
So we as beekeepers just exploit that in that we can calm bees down.